Hey there, YouTubers. Me again. I'm underneath my Sonoma slash S10. Okay, same vehicle. Only one's GMC, one's Chevy, and same truck. Transmission's fine. You know, starts right about here, ends right about here, but there's a connection between here and here, and the clutch is not disengaging. It engages great, but won't disengage. And while I was under here, I discovered, well, let me bring you in here a little closer. I discovered there's a missing starter bolt. I don't know if you can see that, but there's definitely a missing starter bolt. And look, the starter's loose. I actually moved it more than that earlier, but for some reason it's decided, oh, there it goes. Check that out. And this thing was starting and running, so I'm like, whoa, okay. So anyway, got to pull the tranny back in order to fix the clutch. Not really sure what's going on. I was hoping it was just the slave cylinder or the master cylinder, but no, it's not. So the tranny's got to come out, pull the clutch plate off. For whatever reason, the pressure plate, I think I got it hot. I was doing a burnout. With a 2.2, burnouts are not common. Just had the circumstances just right, and I was just giving it a little rubber, and when I went to go put it back in gear, it stopped. It wouldn't go in gear. So, yay! So this is coming out. I don't know. I'm going to come out, get it out, see if we can see any carnage. Maybe something came loose. Best case scenario, but honestly, once I've got this thing out, I don't see any point in not putting a new clutch in it. I mean, plain and simple. I'm going to probably put a clutch whether I think it needs it or not, because I don't want to say, okay, no, this looks fine, put it back together and have it go in a week or a month or a year even. I put a new one in, should be good, right? So I'm going to find a starter bolt for starters, right? We're going to start with the starter. Imagine that. And pull this tranny back. It's got some braces. This thing's like overbuilt. No wonder it's lasting forever. I also found some oil leaks. We'll see if we can't find where they're coming from. And I also noticed I got a front tire wearing funny while I'm under here, and yeah, so we'll have to address that too. Front end shop, I guess. I don't see any loose ball joints or anything, so I'm just going to bring it to the front end shop, get it aligned, and they'll tell me if anything's broken. Anyhow, let's get started. Start with the drive shaft. Gotta get this baby out of there. I ain't gonna be able to pull the tranny back. Feel like I've been here before. Now, there's two ways we can do this. I can slide this all the way out, take this cap off, and there's a seal. And I can take this off of here, or I can take this carrier bearing out. This is going to have to come out anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this carrier bearing, and I'm going to pull all of this out at one time. This is an 18 millimeter bolt. You got to hold the top with an 18 millimeter. It's got a head on the top. It's not a welded bolt. Wow. big. It was on there. There's one. Of course, the emergency brake cable goes right across the top of it. That wasn't so bad. Alright, now we should be able to pull the entire drive shaft out. Let's see, make sure. Oh yeah. Of course, it's a heck of a lot heavier now. That's the only bummer about the whole thing, but I promise you, if you get two people, it's great. But if you're by yourself, you can do what I'm doing. But if you pull this one out, there's a seal in here. You got to mess with all that, and I find it easier to just go ahead and pull the whole thing out. Of course, the camera is right underneath the drive shaft, so it's probably going to fall on the camera and break everything. But that's okay. Here we go. And oh, I better get I'm going to get something to catch all that Earl coming out. I'm pretty sure this just unscrews, but I'm going to pull this boot up before I do so, just to make sure that I'm not crazy. If I can get this boot up, it needs washing anyway. I've never washed the inside of this car. I'll just yank on it. The other option is taking this console out, which I found two screws up here. I'm going to try just to unscrew back up. There we go. Yeah, see? Down here. It ends. I'm pretty sure it unscrewed is like right. Oh, there's a bolt. There's a nut there. Okay. Pretty big nut on the bottom of this, which is probably a lock nut. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get a wrench. Going to be metric, no doubt. I'll tell you what size once I figure it out. Yeah, it's underneath. It's on the very bottom of this. Crack that loose. It should come right out. Now, let's see if I can do this without one getting in your way. Oh, that's 20. That's a 22 mil. And I think I got it cracked loose. It's probably 21. 22 is a little bit big. There we go. Just got to crack it loose. Man, that thing's on there. Whew. Okay, now you can get a better view of that nut. See it? It's 21 mil, I'm thinking, because 22 is a little big, but you're talking stuff that big, you can use stuff that's too big. So there, I didn't even take the boot off. I just pushed it down, cracked that loose, and this came right off. So there you go. That's that part of it. Once you get that far, that just stays in the transmission, and you take it out with it. I do believe this truck is over-engineered. They got these support braces. I don't know, maybe these transmissions had a tendency to break, you know, over by the bell housing or somewhere. So they put these on to keep that from happening. The starters evidently tend to come loose. But I'm going to go ahead and, this is just a little snap. It's got a little, this wire has a little doohickey on it. I believe that is possibly a neutral safety switch, which isn't working on this truck. I'm going to go ahead and pull the slave out. I got to undo these supports on this side here, and then I'm going to undo them up on top, which they're actually part of the bell housing arrangement. Let's see, there seems to be some kind of a cover here around the starter. Oh brother. Let's just take these two supports off. Oh, I guess I'm getting the impact. Woohoo, yay. Wow, there's some pressure on that bad boy. Yeesh. Alright, this one was no big deal, but that one just sprung like crazy. Alright, now we're going to get the support, rear support out of the way. Let me get this. I think we're going to use a regular for that. I do believe. Now I was hoping it was just going to be the slave cylinder, which is this right here that I'm working on, which you can't see because I moved the camera. And the funny thing is it's almost as expensive to replace the slave as it is the clutch, but it's a whole lot less work. And, well, actually, that's a lie. You can replace the slave a lot cheaper for about half the price, but you got to mess with all these fittings. You can buy the slave and master as one piece for about $100, and it's just a pop-in thing. You don't have to mess with all this stuff. And then bleeding, because I don't even see a bleeder screw on this, so that could be a real nightmare. Now I'm trying to get this out of here, and it doesn't seem to. Okay, something. Ooh. No, I felt it moving in here, so let's take this back off. Sorry if my arm's in the way. It's kind of how it goes sometimes. So let me move over here and kick the camera. Feel. Has this got it? No, it doesn't. I don't know what's holding it. I guess just this line, because of its length, it's just holding it in there. Because it's. There we go. Oh, what the heck happened there? Huh. I decided to go ahead and take these supports out of the way. Just of course, it helps to have a good battery in your impact. Well, that one's spinning because I took the other end off, so let's go put the other bolt back in. This is like catch-22. I would like to leave this in place till I get all of the bolts out on the bell house. And then I could just put the jack in and we're done, right? But I can't do that because I can't get at the top two bolts without tipping it back. And I'm also going to try to get over the exhaust. So that's going to be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and take this cross member out. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts on that side. 1, 2, 3 bolts on this side. So, and then of course this one, which is a 15 millimeters. 15 vanilla wafers. So we're going to take this one out first. Then we'll have to get the jack under it. I did want to get these braces out of the way. I did get this one. Well, I got to, or I say I did and I didn't. I did get this side out. Problem is, I can't get the other side. The cross member's in the way. So there's all sorts of stuff in the way. So we're going to get this out of the way. Then we're going to put the transmission jack in there, and that's going to be in the way. But it'll be up there. So where am I? What was I doing? Who was I doing it with? Here we go. Okay. There we go. Made short work of that. Come on. There we go. Okay. So So that's ready to come out. Let's zing these out of here if I can even get my gun up in here. Oh, wrong size. I'm guessing these are probably going to be, they look like 14s, but I don't think so. I think they're going to be 13s. Because everything else in this car has been 13. Yep, 13. 13 and 14 don't look a whole lot different. 9/16 and 14 look the same. And 9/16 and 14 all look the same. And oh, are you kidding me? You are not kidding me. These are blind. These are got nuts on the back side. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I hate when they do that. So we have to sneak a wrench. There's actually a hole back here to access these two. So let me get a little better view here for you. Okay, you can see my gun on here, but what's going to happen is I'm going to end up coming through the backside. Oh, this actually has, I get to these right here by sticking my hand in here. Well, I can't here, but there's holes on the backside of the frame to stick an extension through. So I get to the backside of these and we put a wrench on this. Now I would rather come from this angle, so I'm going to get a wrench and take these two off. And this doesn't have anything on the top, so as soon as I take these off, I'll leave one end loose because it's going to want to drop. This one over here has a plate on the top, so it's not going to drop. What a goofy design, I'll tell you what. But okay, GM must have known what they were doing. Nice welds too, beautiful. No. And when I drive this thing, right? Oh my gosh, the welds in this truck are horrible. I'm not the best of welders, and I can do better than that with my eyes closed. Look at that. That's crazy. All right, well anyway, let's stop admiring GM's work back in the 90s. Yeah, okay. And get these out of here. Here's the craziness. You do not want to put your hand on this wrench. So I'm just going to hold it with my thumb. I'm pretty sure it's going to go this way. And it will hold itself against the bottom of the truck. There we go. There's one. It's just absolutely stupid design. But I've seen it before in certain vehicles. Now the trick is to see if it'll stay in the socket while I'm pulling it out of here, or is it going to fall inside the frame? That is, there we go. I'm just going to pull this one out. Now these, I'm not going to have that option. I don't think I can get to those if it falls into the frame. So, yay, right? I don't know what they were thinking. I think this will be the easiest one, maybe not. Holy Moses and Aaron, this is a stupid design. Now I think these are going to be easier to get to. Believe it or not, I'm going to take this top one. I'm going to take these two top ones out next. I don't even know if I can get my hand in here. I can't. And I'm dropping stuff. Oh boy. So we're going to have to get a swivel, which those never work very well. Yay, this is fun, right? We're having fun. Nope, nope, definitely not. This is what I came up with: swivel on one end, medium extension, and a long deep socket. I'm going to take this top one out so I can get rid of this swivel. But it did seem to work okay. If they're real tight, the swivel will sometimes prevent. Oh, that's actually. Shh, don't tell anybody. It actually cooperated. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. But anyway, just going to put this one on. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to loosen it, but I'm going to leave it in place. I probably should have done that one because I can reach the nut a little bit better. Too late now. Let's get this one out of here. Alright, where'd my contraption go? I put it in there already. Well, I'll be dipped in horse pucky. Alright. Probably just getting a good view of my elbow, but that's all I got, buddy. So, here we go. Ready? Alright. Now we're cooking with real butter now. We do have to be very careful, because if that nut falls off in there, we are screwed. Yay! We got it. Okay. I'm gonna loosen this one, but not take it out, because I don't really want this to drop just yet. Although, wait a minute, before I... Oh... Yeah. I'm gonna leave it in for now. I don't know, I think I can do it without the swivel on this one. The swivel just makes it a little bit easier to get the gun in there. Yeah, oh yeah, we can do this without swivel. Barely. Come on. Maybe we can't do it without the swivel. Nope, can't do it without the swivel, actually. I lied, can't do it without the swivel. It's just like a frog hair from going in all the way. Come on, baby. Oh, brother. Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. Something just fell on the floor. And it was a nut. That's the only problem with these type lifts. You tend to store all your crap on the lift, and then it gets in your way. Great, it's pouring rain. Both of my cars are outside with leaky tops. So I guess I'll go pull one of them in. Yay. Now this one is what I was talking about. There's no access to this. See these holes? That's usually how you can get to a bolt, if there's a bolt up there. And that's what was in the back side of that frame. That's how I was able to access the other one. So this one, however, is blind. These two have nuts on the end, but this one's blind. So, good thing is, chances are it'll just come right out. The bad thing is, if it doesn't come right out and breaks off, the welded nut inside breaks off, then I have to cut this off with a torch and say goodbye forever. And then I got to drill a clearance hole in the back so that I can get to it. It becomes a nightmare. So, 6 1/2 does another whether or not a welded nut is a good thing. If the car is super rusty, probably not a good thing. If the car is in good shape, which this one is, it's got a lot of surface rust. I need to address that. I really do. Maybe while it's up here we'll do that. But all that to say that. Sorry for the big spiel on, that. But now we're going to need we've got to switch things because it's backwards from what it was before. These are 15 millimeter up here and 13s on the outside. It was the same on the other side. It was 15 on the back side and 13 on this side. Why they do that, I don't know. I just don't know. Same with 5/8 and 11/16. A lot of times you get 5/8 on one side, 11/16 on the other. I guess maybe because most toolkits have one of each as opposed to, maybe they're thinking about us, thinking, well, he's probably got one 13 millimeter, so let me make the other side different because he's probably got one of each, right? So I guess that kind of makes sense, sort of, I guess. So yeah, well, we'll go with that. Okay, I have a 15 vanilla wafer wrench on there. And again, I'm going to let the truck do the work for me. I'm not going to stick my fingers in there to get hammered by the wrench when the impact spins it. So we're going to let that take its own course. We've got a 13 here. I believe it's going to go that away, so I'm just going to hold my up here. There we go. I like to go slow like that just in case it does decide to eat my fingers. It doesn't eat them all at once. You just kind of bump it like that, and while it does eat your fingers still, it won't completely smash it to pieces. Now these are fuel lines, so we need to be careful of those. There was up in here, there was a bolt holding a bracket. I believe it was 13 mil as well. So now we're going to put my wrench on here again. I'm going to try to clear all of my fuel lines. Then again, maybe there's also a wiring loom right behind it that is very much in the way. There we go. Okay, we got that in there. Let's see if we can get this. I don't know if that feel right. I don't know what's going on there, to be honest with you. Can't feel it. Nope, it's not. I can see it. Okay. So let's go. I don't think it's going to let me do it this way either. Great. There's always got to be one. Can't get on it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Whew. That was sneaky bugger. And I can't get the wrench back out with the nut on. So let's, okay. Hats off to the 1990s designers of GMC pickup trucks. No, you guys are idiots. Just my personal opinion. Man, that rain is just really coming down. There we go. Okay. Why they felt the need for this plate? Like I said, this truck's a little over-engineered. I don't really understand why it's so over-engineered. This one's a 2.2, so it's not like it's going to be doing burnouts and stuff. Well, although that is how I broke it this time. But okay. So let's get the transmission jack and get this out of here and start tipping it back. I've got transmission jack under it. I built a little jig. I actually bolted it to the bottom of the transmission. It had some weird little tab on the bottom of the tranny, so I just bolted it right to that. And then I went ahead and put an anchor here so it can't move. Okay, I don't want it to slide off the jack. So, still froggy from a sickness I've had in the past. So now I've got to try to get this long bolt out of here, which, either at the end of, no, because this doesn't get hard like that when it's at the end. I guess I'm bottomed out. How the heck do they expect? I guess we got to take the mounts off too. That's great. Okay, well, you got to do what you got to do, right? Again, over-engineered. I guess in order to get this off, you have to take this mount off as well, which is going to be 13 mil. And the good thing is they're consistent, about 13 millimeter and 15 millimeter. I'm guessing you have both of those, you could take this whole truck apart. Anybody else see what's going to happen here? I'm going to back it into the ratchet, and then it's not going to come out. So we're going to have to do this by hand. Oh yeah. Which is basically a wrench. Alright. It isn't going to come easy either. If it don't come easy, and it's probably going to work out okay. Let me get a brass hammer right here. Can't really get my hand hammer up in there to get it either. So we're just going to hit it with a brass hammer. Nope, that ain't going to work. I think I just boogered it up. that bugger's on there tight. That's not working out very well. Let's try the other side, which I can't even see. Oh, there's also a. Now we'll get that one to get this out of here. This also has golly. I think I can get this one from here. There we go. But again, I gotta hit it that way. That's actually a little bit sloppy. Let me try a ½ inch. Might get a little bit tighter. I like that better. I might have to wrestle with this a little while off camera. Do you think that's overkill? I mean, that is literally going in a piece of 16th inch steel. The rest of it is threaded into the transmission. Do we really need that much thread holding that baby in there? Golly, like I said, over-engineered. Transmission fluid dripping on my face. That's awesome. Nope, not really. Alright, finally got that thing out after months of work. Nope, okay, it wasn't that long, but it was pretty long. Now, this is out. So I guess with that detached, I can take this out that I left hanging in there, and then drop this down. Get this baby out of the way. Here we go. All right. Yay. Woohoo! We'll go set this little Driveshaft. Are we ready? Get set. Here she comes. Here she comes, it's just walking down the street going, ooh, wah dee dee dee, bum dee dee doo. I guess that's as far as it's going. Alright. And there we go. I knew it was going to start leaking at some point. Now, can I get at everything easier? I can definitely get at these easier, so let's see if we can't get them done without getting oiled to death. Love transmission fluid in the hair. It's good stuff, you know, really good, gets to the roots, really good stuff for the hair. Okay, maybe not, I don't know. But I tell myself that so I don't mind getting oiled so badly. I don't even know what song I'm singing. And that's the wrong side socket. What do I do with the one hand? What the heck? Here, socket, socket, socket. I had the right one earlier. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Don't lose your sockets. But you probably will. And there we go. That's the one. That's the one. I like it. And let's try that. Well, I'll be dipped in a big pile of horse pucky. Come right off of there. And let's see, now I can get that one off on the front there that we took off earlier. And there's that support. Woohoo! There she's gone. Yay! Get out of here. Alright. Now, let's get that top one. I couldn't get the top one earlier, but I did spray them down with a little bit of old penetrating goo, Earl. So I'm thinking maybe with a little bit of prayer and a tiny bit of luck, well, would you looky there. Heck with the luck, we didn't need it. Just a little bit of prayer. Okay. Prayer changes things. I'm pretty sure I saw that on a bumper sticker somewhere. It ain't no lie, let me tell you. Can you see my head real good? Perfect. Okay, that one isn't cooperating. For those of you who don't know what an equalizer is, it's a breaker bar and a big piece of pipe. And that is how, this is how we do brand new dance now. Yeah, well, anyway. I think I listened to too much music. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's how we do that. I think, yeah, we should be able to get that off with the impact one. I could have switched over to an air impact, which tends to be a little stronger. I'm happy with my Ryobi, but it isn't the most powerful weapon in the world. And, you know, I probably should invest in a much stronger gun, but I've got them with air. If I feel like running an air hose over here, but I'm lazy and competent, so I'm just going to keep using this. It still ain't working. What's going on here? After we choose a different weapon, I guess. Let's go ahead and get a Reinstalling. In case you were wondering what a Reinstalling is, in English I think it's a ratchet. In hillbilly redneck it's a Reinstalling. There, I think that'll do it now. I think our gun will do the job. Let's hope. Because, you know, I'm old and lazy. And I really don't want to have to sit here and ratchet that bad boy off. I think the problem is it's actually loose at the other end. Is that not insane? Yep, that's what the problem is this is loose. See that? What's going on? That's crazy. Considering that bolt up there is actually holding the bell housing on, that's just disturbing. And I found the starter was loose. This is a little disturbing, to be honest with you. There's so many loose bolts, but I guess we're going to have to finish this by ratcheting it off. Little by little, pizza by pizza. We're just going to have to keep doing it with the ratchet, which is now not working. There we go. Where'd my pipe go? Where, oh, where, there it is. Now my ratchet ain't working right now. Nope, like that. This thing's so loose at the other end, it's turning with the ratchet. That's crazy. Heavens to Murgatroyd, Betsy. I wonder if I put a vice grip on it, it would help. Well, no sense you watching me sit here wrestling like this for the next 20 minutes. I'll let you guys go and we'll come back in a minute. This is the crazy part. You gotta get this really long extension. See if we can get it up in here and onto that bolt. And then you gotta try to get your impact on that. Try to crack it loose. The other side was a humdinger because it was loose. And these stupid support bars are in the way big time. I'm not really sure. You know, I would think you don't need them, but I hesitate, especially these top ones, because if they are supporting the transmission, which really the transmission support should be doing that job. So I don't really know if you can leave them out or not. I'm probably not going to. Oh crap, there's one way. Who designed this turd muffin anyway? I know a lot of you may love these trucks, and I love this little truck. But dadgum, she's way over engineered. But we're gonna get my long extension out again. I think I might be able to reach over here easily, because there's another one right up above that one that I see absolutely no purpose for. But again, over engineered. There we go, we're on it. And we'll try to crack this one loose. Ooh. Okay. Getting a little wild here. Some of it has to do with my super long extension may or may not be completely straight. Someone along the lines, quite possibly myself, has used it for a pry bar. And there's another one. I think there's another one on the other side. Dang, go GMC. What were you thinking? Is it on the block? Yeah, it's in the block. Golly, folks. That's nutso. I'm leaving these two side ones, this one here and the one on the other side, last, because they're the easiest ones to get to. And we always want to do the easy stuff last. Because if you do the easy stuff first, all you got to look forward to is the hard crap. And we don't want to do that. So, alright, let's see. Can I even see that from here? Oh, I can. Okay. Way up there. I'm going to step, whoa, way back. And if you're anything like I am and have a weak shoulder from injuries, this is all the more fun. Okay. Here we go. Like having a tire out of balance, golly. Okay. Well, the good news is that was the last hard one. I think. I hope. I hope to God. All right. Can I get my hand up in there? Barely. Okay. I got that. So all we have left are these two on the sides. And this one you can't see, but the other side you can. So I'll do the side you're on last. Now, oh God, this is just the extension alone's heavy. Either that or I'm just getting old and tired, which is also a possibility. I did tape the swivels at the bottom of my extension because they tend to fall off and then they fall into the abyss, and then, you know, let's see if I can get to this without an extension. Oh, I cannot. It was a valiant try though. So, let's see, I'm tripping over my everything. Let's find a shorter extension. This is the last bolt. So we should be able to pull her back after this. Keyword being should. There we go. Now. I have got bolts and nuts everywhere. Is that politically correct? You're supposed to say nuts and bolts or bolts and nuts? Now we've got, oh, stupid stuff. My fuel lines are still connected right here on this. I think it looks like it's a 10 millimeter, and I don't know if I can get this to come down any further. A little bit. Okay. And we've got her secure to, oh, she's going to come right out when she's ready. All right, let me get that fuel line undone, and then it should come. I am an idiot. I'm going to disconnect this. Forgive me, folks. I mean, the bell housing is going to come off anyway, but I'm going to put a couple of these bolts back in. Just these two side ones, just loosely. Because it's like every other American, stick shift. You can just take the transmission itself and worry about the bell housing later. Why I was treating this like a foreign truck, I don't know. But so please forgive me for that. I'm going to go ahead and take the transmission loose from the bell housing first, and then we'll worry. I mean, you can do it this way. I mean, there's no harm in it, but. And there's a ground wire right there, so we're going to make sure that one's. This one actually was a really extra long one. There was a nut on the back side of it. So it must have stripped out. Oh, no, maybe not. Because it's got that ground strap, so. So please forgive me for that. You can, if you desire to, pull the transmission like I'm getting ready to right now. I'm most likely going to be in your way. Maybe not, because I'm not that tall. But we're going to take these two out. This one, that stupid rod's going to be in the way. But it's because I got it loose, we should be able to push it out of the way. Alright. And I will take that rod loose once we get her down. I ate a little bit of dirt on that one. This would have been a heck of a lot easier. Of course, I needed to move those rods, so I guess it's all good. Yep. There's two. Alright. Now the other side. Okay. Come on, get out of there. There's more crap in the way than needs to be. But I made it a little bit harder. I did need to get these supports off of here, for sure. Now here's the last one, if I can get it with this. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, you can see it all coming apart. Alright. I am making a royal mess here. Alright, let's back you up. Okay, I got that fuel line and hooked with a little 10 millimeter bolt in an impossible place to get. So I wrestled with that for like 3 days, 7 minutes, and 15 hours. But no, actually probably a good 10-minute run though. So now, we're going to start bringing this baby back. Just going to wiggle it until she starts to come loose. Drop her down a little tiny bit more. Here we go. There she's coming. And of course I've probably got transmission fluid dripping down my arm. That's okay. I think we need to come down a little more. Oh, maybe that's too much. Are we hanging up on the shifter yet? Nope. Let's let her drip for a few more minutes. That's the worst part about it.
might be easier to let the bell housing come with it. I don't know. Oh, I can't take the bell housing with it at this point because I still have the inspection plate on the front on there, which is just a piece of sheet metal really, but alright, let's keep playing here. We can actually, whoa, what's going on here? Oh, shoot. That's like twisting here. Yeah, I don't like that idea. I only secured it here. Evidently there's a lot of play. We don't want that happening. Alright, I'm going to get something to gently pry in here. Rather than just wiggle and wiggle, we're going to pry it out. Well, poopies. I guess if you look back when I was taking the shifter off, I left the nut on the shifter, and that is actually hanging up in the boot and not allowing me to pull it through. So, happy, happy, joy, joy. Gotta get a ladder, climb up on the lift, and try to get to that. Oh, that's not good. This little silencer seal here is just flaking away. That goes underneath the shifter. We'll figure out a way to make that better. But yeah, that's what's happening. She's catching on the console, and because of that, I can see the nut. I wonder if... I don't want to tear the boot. I can actually see that. Well, bollocks. Alright, I guess I'm climbing. Well, I'm taking the 4 bolts out that hold the shifter. I guess I could have taken the console apart to get this out a long time ago. I guess I should have, because I'm going to end up doing that anyway to put it back together. And I'll show you what's going on in there in a minute. But it's probably going to explode apart in a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and take some pressure off it by jacking it back up. There you go. Now there's no more pressure on the shifter. Because the shifter was hanging me up big time. I thought I could weasel by it, but I was wrong. So I'm going to show this, believe it or not, at the beginning. And when I put it back together, I'll show you why. And I'll also show it at this particular point in the video, so you understand that even if you make a mistake like I did, there we go. So now we've got the shifter out of here. It's just a ball in the, in the boot. Oh, I probably could just pull it out of there now. Drop her down. And get more fluid out of here. There we go. You can see it's just a ball that fits in a socket. So it's not really that big a deal. Make sure you goop it up real good when you put it back on so it don't leak. We'll explain all that when we put it back together. You can take it off now, like I am, but you'll save yourself a lot of grief if you take it out sooner. So anyhow, I got this strapped on here pretty good. I did have it bolted, but for whatever reason I'm going to go ahead and bolt it again just to be safe, because this thing's liable to, see the angle I've got the lift at, it's liable to go flying all over the place. Finally, I think she's ready to come out. That would be a finally. Let's see. That shifter was the only thing holding me up. I think we got to come up a little bit. Here we go. we own it. Slide her back a little more. And leave the bell housing sitting there for a minute. Pull this out of here. She's hanging on with something. Well, we got cars, trucks throwing stuff at me like crazy. Let's let this baby down a little. There we go. Alright. That's all we need is get that shifter out of the way. Alrighty. Ooh. Guys, that doesn't look very good in there. Well, I've got myself ahead of the game here because I've already got the bell loose. And that throw-up bearing is about ready to go anyway. And I guess this is the culprit right here. This old girl right here. So I guess we'll go ahead and take it off before we call it quits. And then I need to find a bolt for this here starter, because once this comes off I can take this out of the way. Life gets a little easier. I'm not really sure why we need this. Just to be a nuisance, because we got these supports here that are just, I don't know. I'm not liking those supports. But nonetheless, they're there. And I'm afraid to not put them back in because I don't know just how weak this block and this transmission housing is, so I'd be afraid not to put them back in. And once you're that far, what the heck, what's the difference? But anyway, the size of these. See if we can't get the pressure plate off. I don't see, there's nothing physically apparent wrong with it, unless once we get this off we find that the clutch is seized to the flywheel. That would explain a lot. So let's get these off of here if I can find the right socket. No, that ain't it. That's too loose. That's 15. So let's see if we can't find the 13. See if that works. That works. Okay. This will be the end of it for today. We've got to order parts. And it'll only be a blink of an eye for you, but for me it's going to be a week before I get back to this old girl. And I've got a mess, but I think I'm going to leave it right where it sits. So let's get these top ones first, just because they're harder to get to. And like I said, we always do the hard stuff first, and that leaves the easy stuff. Come on, old girl. And I'll tell you, it doesn't look like anything is wrong. But I do know one thing about these Sonomas, S10s, these little GM pickups, is there's not a lot of these clutches. The tolerance on them is so tight that they either won't disengage, which is what this one's doing, or they won't engage, but usually won't disengage, just because the tolerance is slightly off. So, God only knows, this one doesn't appear to have anything major wrong with it, but appearances, there is a lot of clutch material everywhere. I'm going to say that clutch was not stuck to the flywheel.
Although there are springs falling out everywhere. So I'm going to guess that was the problem. Because I'll show you. This spring fell out of the pressure plate as I was pulling it out of there. And this spring fell out of the clutch. So with things being that loose and broken, it's pretty safe to assume that this pressure plate was shazoo. Now, it is possible that, man, this clutch looked fine though, except for the springs being crappy. I mean, the clutch itself isn't worn hardly at all. Pressure plate's what gave way. I don't know if it was a cheap one or flywheel looks fine. Something. I don't know if the spring maybe came loose and got caught up in there. That clutch still had a lot of life to it. That's a bummer. This might have been our problem. See that ring in here? See that? That something was rubbing. My guess is that this spring came loose from the clutch. And let's see, do I see, you can see it's been grinding on there. See that? It's clean on that side and not clean on that side. Well, I don't know, can you see that? Well, maybe you can't. It looks, to me in the camera, it looks about the same, but you can see there's some grinding going on with that one. It's distorted, it's ground. So my guess is that that was coming loose. Oh yeah, you can see it on the sides too. See it on the sides? See where it's been rubbing? So what I think happened is it was rubbing in here, and it wouldn't allow the pressure plate to collapse completely and pull itself away from the clutch. And so therefore she was not disengaging. So we're going to put in a new system and with a lifetime warranty. Here's another problem I found. Listen to that. While not bad, it's also, I don't know if you can see that, it's badly cupped. This was really, it just, and like I said, the tolerance on these small trucks is very, very tight. And you see how cupped that is? It probably just got to a point where it would no longer push the teeth in far enough to disengage. I've never seen one with that worn. And of course, by the sounds of things, it was probably engaged all of the time, so the clearances were wrong. Maybe a cheap clutch, I'm not really sure. Maybe improperly installed, maybe. I don't know. It went, I don't know when they put this clutch in, but this truck has over 200,000 miles on it, so I'm thinking, you know, it's due, right? I did want to, before I started the second half of this video, which is that fast for you, but if you watched the video before this where I did the frame on this truck, where I went ahead and de-rusted the frame, you will see that I mentioned I'm having out of money experience. Well, that doesn't mean I can't afford to feed the family or pay for the mortgage. That just means I don't have extra money for toys. So I just have to make do with what I've got. And I did want to go ahead and put out a special thanks to you subscribers, because if it wasn't for you, we'd still be waiting for a clutch on this truck. But thanks to you, and I am a very schmool YouTuber, okay? I make a very, very nominal amount of money, but let's put it this way, it took 3 months to buy a clutch, okay? So that'll tell you just how little money I make off of YouTube. But I'm working at it, you know? Someday I'd like to retire and do nothing but YouTube, but yeah, that's, you know, God's will, not mine. Anyway, thanks to you, I wanted to thank you very, very much. Thanks to you, I did get just enough money with a couple of dollars to spare to buy the clutch for this truck. So if it wasn't for YouTubers, I'd still be waiting for the parts. So thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for watching my videos. And because of you, we can finish this video. So let's get started. Well, or get back to started, or let's finish this video. First and foremost, before I do anything, I want to make sure I got the right parts, right? So this plastic bag, it looks right. I'm thinking, I don't know what was in there. But anyway. And then we have the throw-out bearing. We have the old one. It's cupped. Pretty sure that's not supposed to be like that. It wasn't too bad otherwise, but it was pretty cupped. Not good. This one does not look cupped, but maybe I need to take it. Let's check, make sure it's right before I take it out. Yeah, it looks pretty right to me. So let's open it up and take a little better look-see at it. Woo. Opens easier than a bag M&M's, that's for sure. It's got a little tag on it that says bearing flange lip designed to drive correct installation. Designed to drive correct installation. Further installation instructions. Go to www.clutch.tech-support. Type clutch kit, PA part number to access. I don't understand. And then it says it in another language. It says sería de colar diseñada para instalación correcta. Instrucciones de instalación adicionales. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Well, anyway, it looks right. Looks very right. Ooh, it's a little bit heavier duty though. Look at that. Kind of thick there. This one was kind of cheesy there. But aside from that, she's looking pretty good. So okay, we're going to take that and say that's a go. Now, that's plastic's tougher than you think. Dang. There we go. Either that or my finger is weaker than I think. Wow. Whoa. Hey. Weird. Okay. Take a look at this one. See how there's one long spring and two short springs? Interesting. Because this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 6 smaller springs. But I'd say these are probably, well, actually no, this is shorter than this. Short, long, short, and I'm assuming that one may have at one point in time been long. But it's, something long. But let's see if, oh baby, that looks right to me. Okay. See, it's the same size. It is. Ooh. Look at that. That looks crunchy. So, this was part of the culprit, and as you saw when I took it apart, the pressure plate also lost a spring. And I don't know what came first. I think this probably fell out, and then the pressure plate, this got in there and messed up the pressure plate and let the other spring fall out. Because they're really not in there, but just a little crimpy. Kind of crazy, really. But I think that's neat. They went less springs, but with a bigger spring. I don't know if that's better or worse. What do you think? But the disc is the same size. Lookie's good. So let's put that over there. Or we can put that over there because it's caca, junk, no good. Poo-poo. Alright, and this says, thank you for the purchase of your new clutch. Turn this page over for quick start installation guide. Don't turn it, return it. Oh yeah, sure. There's a bunch of instructions. Feel free to read those when you get a chance. Yeah, I guess I got to check the fork and make sure it's not messed up. Alright. Stay. Now, let's open this cardboard here and pull out the pressure plate. Oh, here we go. I'm thinking maybe this may have been what was supposed to be in that little baggie that was all by its selfishness. I'm guessing, but it seems logical. Alright, so this is the Z pressure plate. So we'll put this, oh yeah, perfectamundo. So it's just freeze-dried and packed. So we got to tear this open. Once you tear this open, you probably can't bring it back. But actually, these guys that I buy from are really, really good. So I cannot complain. They treat me very good. Usually, if I can find it cheaper somewhere else, they will try to match it. And they came within $10 of like an email type one. And since they're local, I went ahead and support my local business. So now let's take this pressure plate that's missing a spring. You can't even see the springs on this bad boy. I don't know how that one fell out, but let's see. It looks the same on the outside. It does. And then we're gonna flip this over. It's gonna fall off this car and ruin stuff. And aside from the fact that it's all tore up inside, it looks same-ish. Same size diskage. Yep. Everything looks the same. We got one rivet there, one rivet there, one rivet there, one. It looks even dirty now because of my hands. So okay, I'm gonna say we are golden on the clutch. And now I'm dirty. That is not good. Hate getting dirty. Now, see this? I don't know if that's catchy on camera, if you can see that. But it's got kind of a, I'm making it dirty. Now you can see it because I'm making it dirty. It's got an oil on it, some kind of solvent, preserving type stuff. And you don't want to leave that on there because it'll cause trouble. Trust me, don't ask me how I know. So I'm going to wipe it off just with a dry rag, and then I'm going to get me some cleaning type sprayage, and I'm going to take some off with spray to make sure I have no more residue, and we'll go ahead and get started. I swear that some of these other YouTube channels are sponsored by a brake cleaner company because they use brake cleaner for everything. Funny thing is, I don't think I've ever used brake cleaner. They use it for starting fluid. They use it for cleaning discs and cleaning drums. And well, drums I guess makes sense, but they use it for everything. I'm just going to use some acetone. Acetone, what they call gases off or dissipates really fast. So I can clean this off, and it won't leave a residue, and it'll dry really, really fast. That's what gassing off is all about. So now that has a little scratch, but you can't feel it, so we're good. So I'm just going to use a little acetone, call it good. Smells, whoo, yeah, don't get it on your hands, it'll make your hands look super dry. But we got that cleaned off. We got our clutch disc. Now, here's another. Most people, okay, I'm just going to say me. I always question which side goes towards the engine and which side goes inside the pressure plate. Okay? Now, the good thing about it is 99.9% of the time, they realize we're all idiots. At least I am. So they says flywheel side right here. Flywheel side. I don't think I've ever seen one that does it. This one's printed. Some of them are etched in there, stamped in, whatever you want to call it. They always kind of tell you because you can screw it up. You know what I'm saying? It'll go in either way. It'll cause issues, won't work right, and things will go bad. But so it tells you flywheel side. Since this would be the flywheel side on this one, so this is it looks weird, but this is going to go inside like that, and then this side where it says flywheel side is going to go towards, guess what? The flywheel, right? So okay, so we've dumbed it down about as much as I can. I guess shoot, there we go, okay. It actually will go like this. What is that noise? Weird. The wind is really windy out today. And then we may or may not replace the pilot shaft. I always get one because you never know. I'm going to check. Usually the easiest way to check is to stick this in the pilot shaft in the vehicle. And if it's nice and tight in there, then we're good. If not, we're going to pop it out. We'll put this one in. Okay? So now with all the technical stuff, and this is, I guess this is a lube, spline lubricant. I guess they want you to lubricate the splines on the clutch. That's a good idea. I usually do that anyway, but they actually give you the lube for it. Cool. But, all right, let's get started on the engine itself. We're going to do that testing that I just mentioned right now. Okay. Now, we can kind of zoom in on that. I'm looking at it, and now it doesn't look good, okay? It doesn't look good at all. It's got little flanges and looks real bad. So, we're going to do the test that I talked about. We're going to stick this in there. That's a sure-brainer no good. Caca, cagach, nada. Bad, bad. Not even close to good. Look at that. It's very, 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 very bad. And I don't know what all this junk is. It's funny because the clutch disc didn't look bad, but wow, it's toast otherwise. This is not bad. I gotta get rid of that surface rust real quick. But I mean, aside from that, the flywheel's not gouged up. It's not discolored. It wasn't when I took it off. It is a little now because it's rusty, but we'll get rid of that. But yeah, everything's good except for the starter's loose, missing a bolt. I hope it's not broken. I don't think it is. It's not. I don't believe. So let's get that remedied. We got to take out the pilot shaft bushing because it's not good, even a little bit good. So that's got to come and. Let's get, I think I've got a puller for that. I used to just pack this with grease and then you push this in there and it'll push that out. But the problem is it's not going to hydraulic, which is what you're basically doing is you're causing hydraulics. It's not going to work because I'd have to find something bigger to actually fill that space. And let's see if I can get my toolage in there. Alright. Come on, baby. I don't know if I can get behind it with this particular tool. I don't think it's going in deep enough. Let's put the old fingers in there and see how deep that goes. Okay, it's got a little lip in about that far. I'm dirty now. So we're gonna have to try to feel our way in there. There it is right there. There's just not enough left to it to grab onto with the puller. Well, we're doing our best here. You probably can't see much, but I'm gonna basically try to chisel this thing out of here. I mean, it is just really destroyed. I'm using a body saw. And it should not be able to cut through the hard steel of the crankshaft, and it looks like it already did cut through the brass. So let's see. It looks like it did something. The idea is wet something, so I'm going to put this back in there. There it is. Well, there it's coming. It'll be loose. There we go. Yeehaw. It doesn't look like it hurt anything else. It's dirty in there. So let's go get the new one and see. I'm gonna get a hose and I'm gonna blow that out because it's nasty in there. Yay. I could have sworn I had a bearing driver, but and I also swore I had this camera out of my way so I wouldn't step on it, but I was wrong on both accounts. So I'm going to try to drive this in carefully with everything in my way. And like everything is in the way. And I say everything, I mean everything. So far, so good. Me and my infinite wisdom decided to keep the exhaust on the car. Now I'm going to get an extension so I can get out here a little bit better. I think I've got one right somewhere. Now you'll notice I'm going to use a brass hammer because I don't want to damage my tools. Alright, it's flush. I think flush is good enough. And everything is fighting me on this. But oh yeah, she's good. She's flush. Alright, and we're going to put a little bit of grease in there so that when we put this on, we're good to go. I didn't flare it at all while I was doing this. Everything feels wonderful. I am going to go ahead, while I got the hose over here, going to clean this up really quick like. And it's going to be a pain in the shape of my tools. Time to put the clutch in. Remember, flywheel side. Says it right there. Flywheel, flywheel side.
That'll hold it in there for me while I go get the pressure plate. And if I'm not mistaken, these are the flywheel bolts right here. Oh yeah! Now, here's the terrible of it all. Oh great, these are supposed to have washers. Fantastic to wonderful. There we go. Alright. The pressure plate, I believe, is balanced, so you can only put it on one way. This does not have alignment dowels, so I'm going to have to guesstimate. These are going to be offset, no doubt, unless it's neutrally balanced, in which case we don't have to worry about it. But for the moment, we're going to get the pressure plate. And we're going to, we're gonna kick the camera first of all. Then we're gonna stick this up here. And line the belts as best we can. And there's 1, 2. I think we might be good right there. Always easiest to line the ones up that you can see. Hope my elbow's not in your way. Now I can see these two, so I can get them started. And then possibly this one. So far, so good. Then let's try one up top here. If you have a sore knuckle, you can almost guarantee you're going to be rubbing it on something when you're doing a job. There you go. So I got two more bolts. Yep, I believe I can fly. What does this do? I forgot this is. I got this little cover plate for something. I didn't remember what. I guess we'll find out. Probably. Oh, here to cover this up. For why I don't know. Just to keep crap out, I guess. But anyway, we need to find the washer. See, here in Tennessee, it's a washer. It's not a washer. It's a washer. And I'm missing one. Tiny little washer. Well, I won't bore you with me searching for that, so let's get one more of these bolts in. I do believe, I think this one's supposed to go right here. I could be right. Yep. So we should have only one more. I believe it's right there. Can we see that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But I gotta find a washer. I lost one. Washer. So give me a second to find that. Washer is found. Well, not really. I found another one. And these are 13 millimeters or milli-vanilli meters. Milli-vanilli meters? Is that proper? No. So now it says to torque these to 35 pounds each. This particular ratchet is rated at 35 pounds of torque, so that works out really nice. And now you can see I got a little bit of play here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to compromise. We got a little bit up, we got a little bit down. I'm going to try to find the center here. It shouldn't be that critical. The plate's not moving anymore. Now you'll notice I'm kind of going bloop, 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 different, side to side, side to side. And I'm not sure if you actually have to do that, but I do that with wheels, tightening up lugs. I do that with anything circular. I always try, or even like a valve cover. I always start, and I just kind of go to the bolt across from it. Now, of course, you can't keep going across, so you have to go over this way and then over this way. But I always kind of go opposite, and I think that just works out better for tightening it up so you don't get one corner tighter than the other. Whether or not that is proper or not, well, Now, I probably, for kicks and giggles, throw a torque wrench on this just for fun. I get confused on which one I did last. And I think my battery's dying, so my torque's going to be off. Duh. Now you see how easy this comes in and out? That is what you want. Because you want a transmission get in there, you want that transmission to just go boop, right in. No problems, right? So I did put a little bit of grease on the bushing, but I don't have any grease on the splines just yet. And they gave me some of that in the... I trip over cords constantly. It's craziness. In order to get lighting in here. And I kick the camera a lot too. Alright, now they gave me some lubricant with the kit. Make sure my finger's nice and clean. Just lick it, whatever. Make sure it's clean. So it's not really all that important to be clean, because it's only the splines. Clean would be good. Clean is always good. If I can get this thing open, might need a knife. I know, I was just trying to... Oh, there we go. There we go. So now, I just put it on my finger, which I sort of kind of struggling here. Okay, just kind of smear it on the splines. Now I've got some grease, regular grease that I used for the bushing, and it's probably just as good as this stuff, if not better. Not really sure what the difference is between spline grease and regular grease, but there we go. Nice and messy. Alright, well anyway, that's good. Everything's torqued according to my pneumatic ratchet of 35 pounds. I tried to tweak it just a tiny bit past, but it did not want to cooperate. So, I'm guessing that's pretty darn tight. Now, I usually like to put a little bit of grease on here too. It's not necessary, but I kind of like to. So now we're going to get the bell housing, and then of course we have our pneumatic or hydraulic clutch doohickey, which they call a slave cylinder. So we'll stick that in there, and we've got to mount our new throwout bearing into the bell housing when we put it on. So we're going to put a little grease around this real quick, and then that's what we'll do next. Time to make the donuts. That's an old commercial most of you probably don't remember. But no, it's time to put the bell housing on. It has 2 alignment pins that should help align it. And then it has, this is a bolt instead of a bolt and nut, instead of just having a bolt. Now we have different bolts, and it's because they have different lengths. This style goes in the regular holes, and then we have a full thread that goes in these alignment dowel areas because they've got to be deeper. So I'm supposed to have 3 of these, but I've got 2, and then we've got a misfit for whatever reason. I guess somebody lost one in a previous life. So we're going to go ahead and get this. Find it. This is over. If you remember when we took this off, this is overkill anyway, the way they designed this thing. So, get out of my way. There we go. Now I put the yeah. I put the throw-up bearing in backwards. That was brilliant of me. So let's fix that. Oh, I'm gonna have to. There we go. Goes in this way. Doom, doom, doom. All right, there we go. Come on. Come on. Went on one side real easy. The other side doesn't want to play nice. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that makes better sense. Okay. Now, I got myself. There we go. Golly. Charlie Brown. Alright, let's get the alignment dowels aligned. There's one. And there's two, I believe. Alright, and then that puts my throw-up bearing right there. Come on, just stay there, would you? It's kind of holding itself. I guess these are going to be. This one's going to be the easiest one to get in. Oh no, that's the through bolt. All right, let's go ahead and put it then, because it's the easiest one to get to. It has a ground strap on the back side of it. So let's just go ahead and get that on there. Just to hold things from going haywire. And then we got another one. Goes, this is the longer one. There we go. There we go. I made that look a lot harder than it should have been. But I've got some wiring and some fuel lines and a bunch of other hoopla up here giving me a hard time. We want to make sure this, before we tighten everything down, we want to make sure that doesn't get in the way. I'm going to go ahead and slide a bolt in there just to keep that plate lined up. Here we go. Jeez. And then we've got our two upper bolts and our one imposter. It's got a big old wire harness in my way. Come on. I got that one started, I think. Yep. And we gotta get that one up in there. Come on. These are shoulder bolts. Not shoulder bolts, they have a head on them. I don't know what you call them. And they got, well, if I could just hang on to the thing. You know when they have a head on them like that? I don't know what they call those, flange bolts. Whatever. But they have those. And there's probably a reason for that. This is the other long one over here, and it is up in there with a bunch of fuel lines and wiring harnesses, and can't see nothing in there. Can't get your hand in there, can't see nothing. It's fantastic to wonderful. No, it's not. Alright, well, we got those on. Now, I did take those off with the transmission still attached. Not fun. It is a wee bit easier doing it this way. I don't have to fight around the transmission. We got one more bolt. Okay, that one's on. Now, you have to use a wobble. And if I remember correctly, I had to use a pretty long extension. Where, oh, where did my extension go? Where, oh, where did it be? Oh, there it is. Oh, that's a, wow, did I use that? That's really long. All right, we don't need that long one. Let's find something a little better. That one probably because I had the transmission in it. All right, I got my wobble and my gun here. Always scared when I'm dealing with aluminum. Now the block is not aluminum, so I shouldn't be that scared, but I always get petrified about over tightening stuff. You know, especially when dealing with aluminum. I'm gonna go back up on these. Just double check. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Now I have one left, which I need to put a knife. Yeah, I need to put a knife. No, not a knife. I need to put a wrench. Yeah, wrench on the back side of this one. Is that right? No, I don't think so. Nope. It is... Which size is it? I do believe that that is not it. Oh, it is that. Okay, it is it. All right. Something tells me that that ain't the right one. Well, that ain't the right bolt for something. It's threaded. It's got threads. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you $1 that one of these ridiculous supports are supposed to go right there. And that's why that isn't tightening down. I have no, I can't for my life figure out why they have those supports. They just don't make a lot of sense to me, but we'll pull that bolt back out. And I don't know if the other ones have to come out, if any others have to come out for those supports, but this one surely does. So we're just gonna leave it loose for now. Oh, actually it's a crush nut, so it's supposed to kind of do that. I'm gonna put these little tiny dealies in the inspection cover. You probably won't be able to see that because they're really tiny. And two, it's kind of cramped under here. As far as these are concerned, they're hidden by the oil pan. So I'm just gonna make believe that you can see what I'm doing. And I believe I can fly. Right? That's what I keep saying. I believe something anyway. I believe in Jesus. I believe in the Holy Ghost. And I believe that I don't have a wrench handy for this. So we'll have to go hunt for a wrench, and I'll finish tightening these up. Where does my English come from? It's hillbilly. Yeah, that's it. It's hillbilly English. Oh wait, I'm from the swamps of Florida, so well, we'll just make believe it's hillbilly from the hills. Oh look, I found the wrench while I was yapping. From the hills of Tennessee, which is where I live now. And I might have to change things to get these in, but yeah, I'll get back to you in a minute once I get these in. I still have my alignment tool in there, and I don't normally hook up the clutch first, but to hold the throw-up bearing in place, I'm going to put it in first. That little groan you heard was me. Make sure that's in the right place. There's a little inspection hole over here. I'm going to guess that's in the right place. Oh yeah. I wouldn't normally put this in, but I wanted to hold the throw-out bearing in the right position until I get the transmission in. So I'm going to put this on. And it's got that in there pretty darn good, I must admit. So la mi do, so fa la di do. No, I don't know. Something like that. Okay, need a deep one. I'm throwing things on the floor. Me and my attitude, I don't know. Here we go. Threw the inspection cap on the flirt. Okay. There we go, deep socket right here in front of my face. 13 millimeters, or better known as milli vanilli meters. There we go. Milli vanilli meters, or vanilla wafers. Now, this is plastic. Scary enough, right? Your whole life, or clutch system, is plastic. This whole thing is plastic. Plastic. All right, now that's in there pretty good. And this, we're gonna have. Oh, I like the way that is sitting there. It's not really centered. Oh, there we go. Okay. Guess it's got some play. That looks nice now. Okay. Everything is El Centeralto, if that's even a thing. So, all right. Woohoo! We are Golden Retriever. Trying to decide, because this is going to go, all right, it's up against there. Oh, that works. Okay. I like it. Do you like it? I like it. If you like it, I like it. The next step is going to be put in the transmission. Now, here is my dilemma, or better known as dilemma. If we go here and look up here at the boot, and then take the console apart. So what we're going to have to do is put the transmission in without the shifter on it, and try to sneak the shifter in and then set it on top, and hope to God we have everything lined up, and got to put juice on it and so it'll seal, put a sealer on it. It's going to be less than fun. If worse comes to worse, I'll just throw the transmission in and then we'll take the console apart and get to it. But I was lazy and I wanted to do the console. So we're this far. Let's go ahead and... I snuck it out while the transmission was with the boot in there, so I think I can sneak it back in, but we shall find out. Got the transmission lined up. I'm just going to slide it on in here. Problem with it is on the lift, when you start to push, it noses down on you. So we're going to try to push from the bottom of the lift instead. I think I'm pretty much in line here. Looks about right. Maybe go a little more of an angle. Oop. Felt that. Slipped right in. Woo, baby. Love it when that happens. Now, let's get the bolts. I know it's not going to be easy for you all to see this, and I can't really get in here with any kind of anything. Because the camera and the light and everything else is in my way. So we're just going to stick these in here. They're going right in though. We'll get the other side in. If I can find them. Here we go. Which you're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to put them in anyway. Then we're going to zing them down. They're going in like butter, which is not the norm for some things that I work on. They're just usually fight me every inch of the way. So this is a rare happening. They're all in there. Show, where am I going? And Scooby dooby dooby dooby. Dooby 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 doo. Definitely not. Let me find the right size socket and we'll get back. I'm going to use my 9-foot long extension with a wobble on it. If I can get it in there. Maybe not. Try this one up here. Yeah, that one went. Alright. I'm just dropping stuff. This one don't want to play nice. It's got that plug right there. Yep. That one ain't gonna play. Okay. Well, let me get the other 3 in, and we'll start doing other stuff. Got the shifter dangling, and I've got some sealer. And so I'm going to get a little sealer off the tip put it on my finger, and I'm going to start spreading it along the edges of where the shifter goes, so we can get a nice seal. This stuff, unfortunately, is like trying to, I don't even know, trying to squeeze concrete through of course, concrete when it's wet flows pretty easy, but this stuff does not. It's real sticky, which is good for what we're doing here, but man, it is hard to get out of the tube. It just takes its sweet time coming out of the tube. There we go. And I'm going to have to just let me get my head in the way here. And I'm going to have to get that little last bit where the shifter's touching at the last minute here. My head's probably in your way. I am sorry. And this is not cooperating very well, because I can't quite get my fingers in there. And it's kind of cold out, so my... Oh, well, that works, whatever. I can't really see what I'm doing on this other corner. I'm sure this is riveting for you all at home watching me do this. I might fast forward this. I can't even. Where the heck? Am I even? Oh, I'm not even on the right thing. Okay, here we go. Alright. Now, let's do this. Alright, making sure. I think we're good now. I did have to get a little spot there. Oh, good, we got a little blob right here just for that. Alrighty. Now the next hurdle is going to be making sure I have, well, shoot, let me find my rag. While I was searching for my rag, it was in my pocket. So, the genius that I am, didn't realize it was in my pocket. So, now, this little booger right here needs to go in a little socket. Now, I remember where the socket was on this particular. So I'm going to stick my finger in there anyway. Feel it. Make sure. There we go. I'm in. She's going to fight me a little bit, I think. Now I'm just going to try to catch a couple of these bolts, and then we can jack this transmission into position. Now it's time to put in the cross member and make sure I've got the bolts ready. The exhaust will. Oh, I messed up my paint job. Oh no. If I remember right, you had to kind of put this in. There we go. And then you had to. Oh, there, I'm hitting the. Something tells me I'm not quite where I'm supposed to be. Took me a little brainstorming, but I figured it out. It goes
over the exhaust at an angle, and it goes over the top of the frame rail. I was trying to do it all sorts of different ways. And then this has to go in here. Well, the good thing about it is the exhaust and the frame holds it up for you. What am I hitting now? But it don't want to play nice, that's for darn sure. So, where, oh where? I'm just going to go this way somewhere. Let's get the old light out. See if I can see anything. It's going to come that way a little bit more. There we go. We got one caught. Yeehaw! The struggle is real, folks. Alright, there's one. Well, it's not as bad as I thought it would be, because this is holding, the exhaust is holding this side up, scratching my paint job. And then these will help me line. There we go, look at that. Help me line everything up. So that's that. And then we need to get this into position. I can always touch that up later. Oh, we gotta make sure that's nowhere near in the way. Everything else looks good. Looks like that's awesome. Now everything just kind of falls into place. Come on, baby. It must have been. Oh, for crying out loud. It don't wanna. There we go. Nothing ever just falls into place, does it? Alright, let's see. Come on, baby. Hey, there's one. Ah, there's two. Scuffed my paint. Well, it just scuffed the undercoat. It didn't scuff the... We'll touch all that up. And let's see, got another one. Here we go. And one more. All right. Looking good. Now I can bring the transmission down. Before I tighten anything up, I'm going to go ahead and get this caught. It's going to go like this. I think it's ambidextrous, doesn't matter. Okay. Where is it? I think it goes. Oh, I think it goes that way better. Yeah. We are nearing the end of our journey. It is time to put drive shaft back in. For such a little truck, this drive shaft is a bit of a humana. Fortunately, we do have I could have taken it apart, I suppose, but I'm stubborn. And so we're going to try to use the back of the lift to hold this while I line it. Come on, baby. And try to keep it from falling off. Whoops. Some of these have an extra spline. Ow. Push this one may. Because it definitely isn't going in nice and easy. So let me see if it'll hold there. If I come crashing down, destroy my camera, and that will be the end of this video. Let me check and see these splines. See if there is a... It doesn't look like it. There's no flat one. So it should, keyword being should, simply slide on. It's just not going to be easy. That's okay. We'll get it. Alright, let's try it again. There we go. Of course now, now the carrier bearing is going to be a little bit of a nuisance. Let's slide that over. Here we go. Okay. Now we're cooking with real butter. Alrighty. Well, I should have put the camera on the other side, simply because the gas tank is right here at my head and I'm going to be in the way. Yeah, maybe not. So, let's push this in a tiny bit more. Then we slide it out. There we go. And she be in there. And I got my strappage. Oh, I'm just throwing some of them on the floor. You know, that's what you do with stuff. You know, you just throw it on the floor. That way you got to work twice as hard to, you know, get it back together and all. Put it in by hand as best as you can. And then the rest will be, you know, come on, baby. Kind of doing this with the old finger eyeballs, you know, can't see it from where I'm standing. Got that one in. And then we'll get this one that I dropped, trying not to bang my head. There we go. Okie dokie. Okie dokie, Smoky. Looks like my exhaust was hitting the rear end a little bit. Probably shouldn't beat on this truck that hard. It's true, I did lower it, so I brought it a little closer to the exhaust. That's okay. And I forgot to see what size those are. I'm going to guess 10 milli vanilla wafers. So let me see if I got one of those handy, and we'll finish this up. 11 Milli Vanillis. There we go. Or probably 7/16 even. The 11 fits perfect. This is an 11 as well, but it's not going on because it's hitting the old drive shaft. So we'll just do it with the old box end wrench. And aside from putting a little fluid in the old, oh, we got to hook up the carrier bearing too. I forgot about that. Alright. There's those two. Now these are, should be able to get to these pretty easy with the sockets. I don't know, that socket doesn't really fit very well. Went on that one like no problem. You never know the laws of physics and automotive wonder why the ratchet goes on that one just fine. It won't go on any of the others. It's the mysteries of automotive wonder. Now I've got some more automotive wonder. Oh my gosh. What you can't see, and what stupidity and or lack of light and or the ability to see what I'm doing, the strap on the upper one is in here. It's not, I didn't put the bolt through the strap. Stupid. Just goes to show you, no matter how long you've been doing this stuff, you can still screw up. Fortunately, I caught that. I was wondering why the ratchet wouldn't go on it. So normally, I think a lot of guys would probably cut this out so they don't look like morons. But hey, you know, everybody makes mistakes. And if you think I'm a moron, that's okay. But I like to show people that whole body's perfect. And if I've been doing this since I was 16 years old. Of course, this is 16 years. When I was 16 years old, this truck wasn't even built yet. But I've been doing this since I was 16. And let's see, 16, 26, 36, 46, 56. 48 years I've been doing this on various machines of all makes and models. And I still make mistakes. I still don't know everything. In fact, I've probably forgot, and actually I know I've forgotten a bunch of stuff, because I'll do stuff and I'm like, I used to know how to do this. But the other thing is, you never really become proficient, because one, I'm always doing something different. Sometimes I'm making things work that shouldn't even be going together. Kind of like my Chevy engine, my Fox Hemi Chevy engine going in my Gremlin. That's a freak of nature. So when you're doing stuff like that, the laws of normal automotive work do not apply. Guys in dealerships that work on the same exact vehicles day after day have an advantage over guys like me who are working with something different every single day. And you know, it's just kind of how it goes. All right, we're good here. Ooh, that was loud. Now we just got to do the carrier bearing, add a little fluid into the transmission, and this job is done. Got our bolts for the carrier bearing, and they just go through here. And make sure it's not gonna. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty small hole. Okay. We gotta line this baby up. There we go. There's one. There's the other. Now they go through, you got clearance holes here to get your socket up in there. So you put that in there, get it started. And then we get our, oh, wait a minute. I do believe, did I forget something? I seem to have. Does this go there? It may. I guess they put a plate in there for some reason. So let me start that over. I thought that plate went somewhere else, but I couldn't get it to go that somewhere else. So evidently I was incorrect. Yeah, that's it. Incorrect. So we'll fix that incorrectness. If I can get that with one arm, yep, I can. I don't know why they did that. Maybe for alignment purposes? I can't really know. Come on, baby. Of course, now it's not as easy to line up. There we go. Yeah, it just spaces it up a little bit for some odd reason. I don't know why. But then we're back to square one. Sorry to waste your time there for my incorrectness. There we go. I'm glad I remembered that plate. I'm not really sure it would have made much of a difference. I guess it's just to align. It's like a pinion angle, right? I mean, you got to have a correct pinion angle for both of these, otherwise it'll do undue wear, I guess. That's my guesstimation of the reasoning behind the design. This truck was over-engineered anyway, but alrighty. Now we'll put our wrenches on there. Fenny. It is Fenny. Now we'll just put a little bit of fluid in it. Look at that. That's not much play really for transmission and rear end. That's pretty darn good, I must admit. So if I wasn't being careless, I guess would be the word, or angry or whatever I did, blow this clutch, I probably wouldn't be doing this job right now, you know what I mean? But let's get some fluid in this transmission and call it a day. Now you really can't see this too well because of this bar is in the way. But there's a plug right here. Let me tell you a story. It's in there. All right. So we're just going to take it out. I've got a 1/2-inch drive ratchet with an adapter on it to go 3/8. And got this baby cracked loose. We are going to open it up. We're going to clean it up. I'm going to clean it up on a wire brush real quick. And then I'm going to put a little Permatex around it before I put it back in. Now we're going to add some fluid. It just takes regular ATF. There's 5,000 different ways of putting this in. They sell bags you can use. You can try to put a hose on the end of the bottle and whatever else. I have this handy dandy little, basically it's basically just a grease gun type situation, and you take the top off of it, Okay, if I can get the top off, there we go. And then you just pour your ATF down inside that, or your fluid down inside that, and then you push the handle. And I'll show you that in a second. But there's some dilemma as to, in fact, let me do this. Smile, it's me! This is what it looks like, so you can get a kind of a view of it all, you know. And it's just got a plunger that pushes the fluid out. There's some debate, especially on the 94. This is a T5. Okay, it's a T5. Now there's an NP something another that can go in these trucks too, and that's supposed to take synchro mesh. So on the internet I got some conflicting information. Some people say to use the synchro mesh, some people say to use ATF, Dextron 2, some people say Dextron 3. So I'm only adding what fell out when I was taking the training out, which wasn't a whole lot. It was some, but not a lot. So I'm just going to go with regular ATF2 because we're just adding. ATF3 might be better. I'm not putting the synchro mesh. I have some. The reason I'm not going with synchro mesh is because my big truck takes a synchro mesh and it's a different color. This was red, and so I know it was regular ATF of some sort. Now, I'd probably invest in the Dextron 3 if I was refilling the whole transmission, but I'm not. I'm just adding to it. So I'm just going to use regular Dextron 2 and put it in here. I'm just going to top her off, and that'll be that. Little putter-inner here takes just under, come on, there we go, just under a quart. If I can get the hose in there. Come on, baby. The hose doesn't want to bend to go in the hole. There we go. Okay. And it's going to come running out of here. In fact, I probably should stop right now, because once it starts running out, oh, son of a gun. I didn't think it was going to take a whole quart. So I need to get getting ahead of myself before I put in the rest, because it's probably almost guaranteed to start overflowing. I want to be able to put the plug in real quick, so I'm going to go ahead and get the plug prepared, and we'll finish this up. Alright, I've got some Teflon tape on my plug, and now I'm going to go ahead and put this back in here. Start filling it back up again. I can't really see it, so once I get this, oh, there it goes. Okay, get out of here. There we go. That's that's roughly 1 quart. If I can get in here before I take a complete bath. There we go. Come on, baby. So it took almost a full quart. I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding. Nope, that's not me. That is the ATF running down my arm. Okay. So we get that in there. You don't have, especially with that Teflon tape on there, I do not have to, destroy this thing putting it in. I can just snug it up. It doesn't have to be super tight. In fact, if I go super tight with the Teflon tape, it'll try to spread the transmission and crack it probably. So we are just gonna run it in there. And you see it stop just sticking the plug there. So we're just gonna snug it up. There we go. Ta-da! Now we'll clean up this mess. We got to get up in the cab, finish hooking up the shifter, and then that'll be the end of the video. The nut that goes here. Now I was having some trouble with this hitting the console, so I don't want it to go as far down as it was, because when it's in gear, Let's see, we're over. Ooh, the clutch feels like it's working. There we go. I don't want it to hit here. So, she's shifting, that's a good sign. Now how far? Oh, this is just going to go right to the bottom. So, we can keep going. We kind of want it to go into the boot though, don't we? We want that boot to come on up here without, I think that's as far as I can go. That's hitting the console right there. So, I think we're good there. Let me get my wrench out. I mean, I'm not banging gears with this thing anyway. It's, you know, it's a 2.2 liter, you know what I mean? So I'm simply going to tighten that nut up right here. And hold this straight. There we go. Now, if I can get the boot kind of come up here to look pretty. Let's see if I can do it right here. Here we go. Definitely the hardest part of the whole job right here. Getting, oops, and I sprung a leak. So that's making it slipperier. Alright, let's see if I can get you over here. There we go. Come on. Come on. So what we're going to do is I'm going to grab it, pull it up over the top here. Okay, it goes into gear too good. Pull it up. Just kind of go around. There we go. It's got a little groove somewhere. I think. There we go. I think we're golden on that one. Alright, it doesn't seem to be quite as good on this end. Well, I reckon that'll do. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, reverse. Think we're good? I think it's all good. Alright. Now, let me get the light out of here. And we'll back this baby out and see if it works. A little dark because we're looking at the shifter. But once I get outside, it should. Of course, it's getting dark out. She's in gear. But she started up okay. There's reverse. Oh, Houston, we have ignition. It's getting worse instead of better as far as lighting goes. So I think what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go get a flashlight so you can see, because I don't think you can see anything. You can't. Okay, now you can see it. It'll probably knock the flashlight over when I put it in reverse. It sure did. But once we get into the upper gears, this is reverse, which is usually the hardest gear to get it into. If your clutch is bad. Alrighty. First gear. Lights would be good since it's getting dark out. And hopefully of course my tripod's probably going to fall over. Second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. There's a reason why I call this truck the Turtle. I just got passed like I was parked. And fifth gear. There we go. We got them all. Woo! Okay. Let's turn it around. That's good enough for me. Ooh, I haven't driven this truck in a while. Feels weird. Let's see if I can do this without my camera falling over. There we go. Runs, drives, goes through all the gears, disengages, engages, all the things that clutches are supposed to do. So we're going to say this is a big, well, shaka, thumbs up. Good job. Finished. Yee-hee. So anyway, it was fun. No, it really wasn't. But she's running, she's driving, she's back on the road. And now y'all have a video on how to change the clutch in a 90s Chevy truck. This is a Sonoma. S10's identical. This is a 94. But pretty much, with the exception of the transmission, because the older trucks will have a shifter that's separate from the transmission. This one has the shifter in the top of the transmission. And like I've explained during the video, there's different ways to do that. You can take the shifter off through the console, which probably would have been easier because, you know, it was a little bit messy doing it the way I did it. But I'm lazy. I didn't feel like taking the console apart. So it is doable if you go that route. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you out. If this video helped you out at all, or you just enjoyed watching it, do me a favor, subscribe, because that helps me out. Hit the like button, makes me feel all warm and fuzzy, you know. And tell your friends so they can watch the videos too. Appreciate you watching. See ya!